Lighting just doesn't work. What is this? Lighting just is not working for our 2D objects. I mean, there's gotta be something that's screwed up here. Like, we are just not getting our objects lit correctly. Like, well, why don't we double check what our flipbook is playing our stuff. But it's very clearly the lighting in the orthographic mode is not doing what it's supposed to. Well, I certainly wish I knew which things to even mess with to figure out kind of how this works. The material applied to the flipbook component is not marked as two-sided, which may cause lighting artifacts. The material applied to the flipbook is not marked as it definitely is marked as two-sided. Can we clear this log? Let's just make sure that all these things have no collision then. Let's fix our warnings. Man, alright, so we may still have issues with our material itself doing things behind our back that we are not aware of. Zero errors. Zero warnings. Well, it appears as though our character is being lit consistently, at least. Like the left and right are the same. Let's see, what's the total? We go to the lighting, we go to the light source. Let's just say there's no light. Wish I knew more about the lighting. Well, we're slowly going to learn more about it until we become competent. Let's try just disabling all the lighting. So this is with all the lighting disabled. Right, okay, so something's really screwed up here. That Well, that didn't work. Crashed the editor because of lighting. So I'm guessing it's our emissive lighting on there is wrong. So basically the emissive color for our lights should not be put in here. We should just be using opacity and opacity mask. And it should just be vertex color and the texture coordinate sprite texture, and it should just be defaulted. All the rest of this stuff should be as it is. So that's supposed to do everything. That's just what it's supposed to do. Material applied to the flipbook is not marked as two-sided. So obviously something is happening here where our stuff isn't saving properly. Like, it's not saving our material changes for some insane reason, because we keep getting these, like, I think what ends up happening here is I'm changing some stuff and it's not actually taking in the editor for some damn reason. Because we didn't get any messages for this stuff. Map check, yeah, 0 warnings, errors. So let's see. Orthographic lighting, dim, Unreal 4. It's like the orthographic camera is just, there's something wrong with it. You know? Well, let's just grab an orthographic camera. And let's put it in the scene here. And we should be able to look through it. So if we grab this camera and we change it to orthographic, let's see if we can angle it and see a little bit better. Yeah, so the question is, why is it doesn't look like it's applying lighting properly whatsoever for the orthographic camera. If I throw this over here, it's just looking like it's not using the same lighting space, or stuff's just not right for our light when it's in orthographic mode. Ah, not finding what I want. And of course the Unreal forums are just so slow. Wish these things would just stay frickin' closed. Uh-oh, Unreal's freaking out. I really wish those damned object folders would just stay fucking closed. It's so annoying. Alright, so we're not getting our live view anymore with this thing, are we? Is this the actual camera that we're using? I think so. Looks like it. I don't see anything on the camera that would affect anything here. Well, let's see. What if we just get rid of the standard player? What if we grab the standard player object, like Paper 2D player controller? Well, where is the frickin'... where's the tutorial level? It's just like lighting just doesn't frickin' work. Like, I don't understand why. It makes no damn sense to me that lighting just doesn't work for this thing. Maybe it's just that point lights don't work properly? I mean, complete pain in the ass. Yeah, it definitely looks like point lights just don't work in this orthographic mode. Alright, so... Point and spotlights no longer work when using orthographic camera projection mode. Orthographic camera projection mode. Note that the direction light is still working. This is a regression of behavior from forward backlog. Son of a bitch! Okay, so point lights just don't fucking work. Backlogged. Reported in December, updated January. Oh man, okay, well, that would be why lighting's not working, is it's broken for the orthographic camera. Alright, we're able to achieve by adding normal map, source sprites, and lighting scene Notice in perspective mode, the point light correctly surfaces. Step 1, create sprite. Add a lit sprite material. At a point light, note the sprite appears lit in perspective mode but not orthographic. I found this issue as well. I'm using 3D meshes. It inhibits both point and spotlights from showing orthographic, but perspective works just fine. I changed the blend mode from translucent in the translucently lighting mode to volumetric directional. So project settings rendering. Rendering forward shading. Alright, so I guess I need to see what this forward shading thing does. So I want to know exactly. This requires shader model 5 hardware. Alright. Shader model 5. Shader model 5 is a superset of the capabilities of shader model 4. Shader model 5 compatibility. Alright, so DirectX 11 is shader model 5. So DirectX 11 compatibility. Let me check out the Steam hardware survey. Maybe they've got the shader model stuff. So if we look at Steam's stuff here. So it looks like DirectX 11, if we don't support DirectX 10, we're cutting out 10% of the market. Well, shit. Well, I guess we can just tell people to buy a new graphics card. So we check this button, we're gonna have to recompile all the frickin' shaders, is what I think it said. So this might take a little while. But according to the internet, as of April, the forward shading stuff, make sure it's checked. This should make the lighting work correctly in orthographic. Volumetric directional could work too. So we're gonna check this out first. So this is gonna be building for a little bit here. As you can see, we're using all our cores. So I'm gonna take a quick break here while all this stuff builds. It should take a minute. So I'll be back in a little bit. So let's take a look here, see what we got. Does it do what we want? Yeah. Alright, so it totally works now. So we weren't doing something wrong. It was the world that was wrong. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to try turning that off. So since we know that that actually did fix some of our issues, we can work backwards from there. I'd rather not turn on the forward rendering stuff unless we have, you know, like, we absolutely have to. And it looks like our shader cache is there. So we don't have to rebuild because we've already built those shaders. So, let's see, the other thing that this guy mentions for the materials is that changing some of these things. It says, point lights started working again and are continuing to work. I was messing around with the settings on the material when the point lights started working. The blend mode is translucent and the translucently lighting mode volumetric directional. Well, that's exactly what I have, and then it doesn't work. So let's try the other lighting modes for these things. Nope. Nope. That doesn't do it either. And surface forward shading. Alright, so surface forward shading does work. So let's take a look at this real quick. Sliding will be calculated for a surface. Use this on translucent surfaces like glass and water. This is implemented with forward shading, so specular lighting. However, many deferred only features are not. This is the most expensive translucently lighting method as each light's contribution is computed per pixel. Well, yeah, that's kind of what we want, to be honest here. Oh, but it's totally wrong. Look at that. Like, it is not correct whatsoever. Like, the point light's getting squashed in space here. Like, point lights are just not working. And it's as if the lighting model is using just completely the wrong data for the orthographic camera, because like that's just incorrect. Like over here is not, this should not be lit. So it looks like just their lighting stuff is screwed. So what we're gonna do is we'll go to volumetric directional, which is this guy. And supposedly they gave us some change lists and things like that. In which these things are broken. So we know forward shading fixes this stuff. So let's take a look. So this is the bug. So it's working in 4.13.2 and it's broken in 3.2204. So this has been backlogged for quite a while. So what we might be able to do is we might be able to fix it ourselves. So why don't we take a good old college try at taking a look. And let's also complain on Twitter about it. Alright, so why don't we take a look at the GitHub for Epic and see if there's anything in there that we might be able to tackle. So their last change list was 3.1. I wonder if we can actually just go to specific change lists. So it was like 4.13 is the release, and what we're going to do is we're going to download 4.13, and we've already got 4.14, a good copy of that. And what we can do is do a diff with anything and just live up to his name. Yeah, Master of Complaints, definitely living up to his name right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a diff on like all the graphic stuff and see if we can kind of go through and just dead reckon our way through some of it. And just bear with me, I'm just moving some files around. So let's unzip this thing over here. Yeah, it's interesting that they have not fixed this problem, because, it's like complex lighting and super cool stuff like that is kind of why you get Unreal 4. And for orthographic camera to be just flat out broken with lighting is kind of a gigantic surprise. Like you wouldn't expect lighting to be broken in Unreal 4. Like you'd expect something else to be broken. But lighting, especially if it's lighting and things like that for standard stuff. Such as just point lights. I mean, this isn't like a new feature or anything else. It's like point lights have been around for forever, right? So it's not like they came out of left field. So it's probably going to be in runtime. It's probably going to be in like rendering or something like that. The renderer, maybe that's where we're going to look first. It's inside the renderer. And oh my god, just all the junk here. Just go grab our very own version of Unreal and snag that thing. And we're just waiting to unzip all the garbage, because we need to do that. So I'm going to keep looking a little bit inside of you can just look at the history for oh hey, there's a point and spotlights are now supported in orthographic projections. And it's inside of deferred pixel shader.